What's up guys, my name is Dean aka the Blue Crusader and welcome to the channel. Prisons. If you can't do the time then don't do the crime, right? Well that's what we're taught, but what happens when you do the time for the crime? You get sent to one of the places on this list. In today's top 10 video we'll be taking a look into the top 10 most dangerous prisons. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 10. San Quentin. San Quentin is probably one of the most popular and notorious ones on this list, and one I'm sure most people are familiar with in some form or another. This facility is based in California and houses thousands of inmates. Allegedly, according to multiple sources, the facility is said to contain a gas room, but its use is prohibited, even for those inmates who've been sentenced to their own end due to state regulation laws. Although I'm sure many people who aren't big time crooks have been unfortunate enough to be sentenced to San Quentin, this place is where some of the worst and most violent people are put away, for either short terms or even life. San Quentin is infamous whether from Johnny Cash himself, who contributed to its notoriety, or through the hundreds of documentary films and series shot there. It is the oldest prison facility in California state and was constructed in 1852. San Quentin is no stranger to regular violence. Despite a large amount of guards on duty, the most infamous was perhaps a 2006 incident which occurred due to prejudice, which caused some 100 or more inmates to be injured. Number 9. Rikers Island. Rikers Island, New York is a prison established in the Bronx borough of New York. The facility has a long-running history of violence from those housed there. Although there is staff maintaining a watchful eye daily, even the guards have been on record to say they were afraid to work in Rikers Island prison due to the frequent beatings and other high-profile crimes committed there. Due to its recent history and running history of violence and weapons, the prison has become one of the most toughest and strict prison facilities, even introducing reform campaigns which have successfully reduced Malay-based attacks from 1,000 per year to 70. Although it's not confirmed and may be hearsay, it is alleged that illegal fight clubs and rings are ran underground by some of the guards, with some of the worst crimes imaginable occurring daily. Number 8. Kwang. In Bangkok, Thailand, there is one of the most toughest prisons in the world, known simply as Kwang or the Bangkok Hilton Hotel as some have labelled it. It's far from a place of peace and solitude. In fact, it's one of the most infamous for routine daily mistreatment of inmates by guards and poor conditions, with the prisoners being housed into small cages with sometimes 100 people in one cell. Another alleged fact is that anyone who's been sentenced to their end is only given up to 2 hours notice before they are being taken away. According to some sources, the minimum sentencing to an inmate sentenced to stay at Kwang is 25 years, a little more than a quarter of the lifespan of a human. Everyone who stays within the facility is shackled on their arms and legs during the first few months of initiation, as there is a complete lack of running water within the walls. Apparently, Kwang also has a lack of food for inmates, and oftentimes they will issue one simple daily meal of rice and vegetables. Number 7. Alcatraz. Although it has been shut down for many years and is now an inactive facility, Alcatraz is one of the most infamous and widely known tough prisons in the world. A few reasons for its notoriety is that famous mobster Al Capone was housed there, as well as a film being made on the true events of an escape from the facility in 1962, with the film being called Escape from Alcatraz, starring Clint Eastwood. Alcatraz is another California facility, but is situated on its own island off the San Francisco coast, a detail that made escaping the facility an extremely challenging task due to how many kilometers one would have to swim to reach the other side of the shore. There were not only one but many escape attempts occurring at Alcatraz, with one being called Battle of Alcatraz in May 1946. However, on March the 21st, Alcatraz was forced to completely shut down in 1963 due to its lacking reputation and the high cost it took to maintain the prison and to keep it running. Number 6. La Santé. In Paris, France, lies a prison complex known as La Santé, which means the health. Ironic. The prison has a long history of brutal acts and a high rate of prisoners ending their lives or over-serving their existing sentences. During only the year 1999, over 124 prisoners were found lifeless in their cells. Due to the violent acts committed and prison rioting, the inmates can only be let out their cells for 4 hours a day. Allegedly, Some sources also state that La Santé has somewhat of a pyramid hierarchy system, in which some prisoners based on experience, connections or time served have more of a powerful presence or influence over other prisoners. Since 1987, La Santé has only had 3 prison breaks on record due to the fortress-like structure and architectural design of the facility. Number 5. USP Florence ADMAX. ADX or ADMAX Florence is a prison situated in Florence, Colorado. The facility is actually designed to be able to hold the most violent inmates and contain them without any problems. The conditions are said to be so tough that even inmates have issued lawsuits, most notably during 2012, in which inmates claimed the prison's conditions almost encouraged or promoted inmate violence and malpractice, sometimes labelled as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Florence's prison houses many inmates serving life sentences, and the sight of its grounds is huge. Inmates at Florence are partaking in a supermax environment in which inmates are incarcerated in solitary confinement with controlled access to areas of the prison, as well as restricted outside influence or visitations. Number 4. La Modelo. Perhaps one of the most toughest and unique prisons on this list, La Modelo has a strange system in which it runs. The facility houses some 11,000 prisoners who, themselves, run the inside of the prison, where they can easily access almost any type of weapon, shooting or melee, and the guards themselves don't even carry weapons inside. In La Modelo, disputes between inmates are often resolved through violence, and the 2 sections of the prison house different wings of supporters that often clash and have violent rivalry. Not only do La Modelo prisoners have access to weapons, the open environment grants them other perks such as cell phone access, allowing them to access to their outside world operations, and some prisoners even allegedly have their own restaurants and businesses within the facility that are run by inmates. Perhaps the most mind-boggling perk is that an inmate can apparently trade their place with an outside visitor for $2,000 to $2,500, which is called ciambiazo, or big change, in which someone else can take on their sentence to grant them freedom. Number 3. Gitarama. Gitarama, situated in the East African country of Rwanda, is sometimes referred to as Hell on Earth, and is home to some 6,000 plus inmates. In order to survive in Gitarama, prisoners have to help each other by feeding each other to actually survive, and it has such a problem of overpopulation that prisoners are forced to stand up all day, causing their feet to become infected or rot, especially due to them standing in feces, which promotes gangrene. If prisoners' wounds become infected with gangrene, they have to go through extremely dangerous limb removal procedures, which extremely lackluster chances of positive outcomes. Number 2. Guantanamo Bay. Located within Guantanamo Bay naval base on Cuban land, the Guantanamo Bay detention camp is perhaps one of the worst and most infamous prisons on this list. Being military ran, the detention center contains some inmates allegedly so dangerous that they have been apparently held indefinitely without trial, according to some sources. Although there are words of alleged abuse or mistreatment and human rights issues, the centre is home to a multitude of violent criminals or enemies of the state. The site was actively established by the Bush administration during 2002, however the successor of Bush, Obama, attempted to shut down the facility, but was met with a strong opposition campaigning for it to stand as it had. However, Congress still passed a bill that meant detainees were prevented from being imprisoned in the US during Obama's instatement as president. In January of 2018, President Trump allegedly signed an order to keep the site open for the indefinite future, and the first prisoner was transferred during this term, making the active population only 40. Number 1. La Sabaneta. In Venezuela, deep in Southern America, there is a facility simply called La Sabaneta, which means the Sabaneta. The facility is designed to maintain around 15,000 inmates, but has been known to house up to 25,000. The prison, also known as Maracaibo National Prison, has been closed since 2013 but was heavily understaffed. It was operated by the Ministry of Prison Systems and had severe overcrowding issues which didn't fit too well with the understaffing problems. The prison has problems with gang activity and prison gangs who mostly had obtained control over the inside operations of the prison. The violent incidents in La Sabaneta were definitely not rare, One such event in 1994 during a gun showdown resulted in 108 prisoner fatalities as well as 196 prison fatalities and 624 injured inmates in 1995 due to violence. Fortunately, La Sabaneta was closed in 2013 due to government intervention. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you disagree with the facts in this video or want to give your opinion, definitely let me know in the comment section below. If you want to see more top 10 videos like this and daily gaming videos, subscribe to the channel for more so you don't miss out, and also so you don't miss out on monthly giveaways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Damn, son. Pack it in, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't tell a sack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and yet a whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, then jump across the ceiling. Muggs is a funk fest, someone's talking junk.